Hello and welcome back to week 3 of the Healthy Heathcote 90-day challenge. We're here at beautiful Tumbling Waters retreat at Stanmore Tops, and I thank them again for allowing us to film here today. Now we're talking about caffeine today. Is that right, Emily?
Yep. Yes, we are.
And I've heard that caffeine's good for you.
Well, some people say that because there are some studies that show it does increase wakefulness, it improves flow of thought, it can improve coordination and focus, and there's some studies that actually say it improves sports performance. It may decrease some cancers. If you drink a lot, it can actually improve dementia, but you have to drink a lot. But yeah, so there are some benefits to caffeine, but there's also some bad things, and I think those outweigh the benefits, because it can also, if you drink too much caffeine, it can actually cause fatigue and headaches, it can make you irritable, it can actually cause anxiety and depression, weight gain, osteoporosis, heart palpitations, bladder cancer. There's just, a really long list of things that caffeine can cause. And we talked about last week that caffeinated beverages can cause dehydration as well. So there's a big long list of things that are really bad. So in my view, caffeine is a negative. But
it's a positive in small amounts.
Well, it depends again. So, depending on the person. So, caffeine, the half-life is 6 hours. So, that means that in 6 hours, you've metabolized half of the caffeine. So, in 12 hours, you've metabolized you still have a quarter of the caffeine in your system. So, if you have a coffee at 10 in the morning, at 10 at night, when you're trying to go to sleep, there's still a significant amount of caffeine in your system. And that amount of time actually only increases with age and liver function. Being pregnant can actually increase that, and some medications can actually increase it by 10 times. So if you're on some medications, you drink your coffee in the morning, that caffeine is still in your system the next day.
Wow, does that mean we should be drinking any caffeine?
Well, some people think that they can drink caffeine, and because they fall asleep at night, but then they have a really bad sleep. And so if you ask these people if they have lots of energy and feel refreshed in the morning, they'll say that they're a bit groggy in the morning, and it's because they had a really bad quality sleep because of the caffeine that was in their system. So it's no good for them. And then some people are really sensitive to caffeine. It does take a long time to metabolize, and they can't even drink the morning coffee. I know myself and my mother, our sleep gets affected even just by one caffeinated beverage in the morning. So I think you had an experience with too much caffeine.
Well, those who might know, I was a apprentice chef and a qualified chef. But through my apprenticeship, I used to drink a coffee. I used to get there about 6 o'clock in the morning and drink a big mug of coffee every single morning. In fact, I'd have 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 big cups of coffee, straight espresso, and I basically turned yellow.
Oh my gosh.
So I went to the doctors and they said, you've got hepatitis. Once I had the check, they said, no, your liver function's down to somebody who's drinking probably 2 or 3 bottles of whiskey a day. And that was just through drinking too much coffee, obviously.
Wow, so that seems like an extreme example. That's a crazy experience. But unfortunately, I think that's something that's going to become more common because kids are starting to drink caffeine younger and younger. And we've got some examples here. So, because the people don't realize, I think, how much caffeine is in a lot of beverages. So we've got an espresso. If you're going to drink an espresso coffee, that's about 200 milligrams of caffeine. And everyone knows there's a lot of caffeine in espresso, and that's sort of accepted. An energy drink, though, that's still 100 milligrams of caffeine. So that's quite a lot. And that's a small bottle of energy drink. And then a large bottle of Coke, that's the same. That's also another 100 milligrams of caffeine. And then we've got some tea. That's about half. It's about 50. And chocolate. People forget that there's caffeine. Even in milk chocolate, there's caffeine in there. And so there's still about 20-25 milligrams in that. So you do need to be careful. If you drink a coffee in the morning and an energy drink and a Coke and some chocolate, way too much for your body to handle.
I see a lot of young people walking around with these energy drinks, these V's and other Red Bulls and the like. I think their intake and their attitude to because of it, they're a bit more hyped up than they used to be.
Yeah, it is. It's become a big problem these days. So we do really want to decrease our caffeine. So what we want everyone to do is we're going to start decreasing it, but you don't want to decrease if you drink a lot of caffeine and you stop it tomorrow, it'll be bad. You'll get headaches, you'll be fatigued, you'll get anxiety, like it'll be a bad symptoms. So what we want to do is just decrease slowly. So what we're saying for the next week is to everyone to stop caffeine after 2 p.m. So you can start in the morning, you do your morning tea for now, and we're just none of the afternoon, evening caffeine.
Yep.
And then water. So we are still carrying on from the water. So if you started off at nothing in the beginning, we want you to drink 750 mils every day for the next week. And then we did talk about caffeinated beverages in our water talk. So if you're having 1 glass of caffeinated beverage, you want to replace that with a glass of water. So those are the 3 things we're doing for the next week.
So for every drink with caffeine in it, we drink a glass of water.
A glass of water, and then your 750
and that
mils
takes
on
it
top of that.
back to square one again.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well done.
So those are our tasks for this week, and if you need a reminder, you can again head to the Facebook page, and thanks everyone for your contributions so far. Let's keep the conversation going and keep interacting with each other. Post more recipes and more ideas that you have that you're doing at home, and if you need more information, again, as you know, you can head to my blog for some more, and we'll come back next week.
Thank you very much everyone for joining us this week, and I would like to thank also the Tumbling Waters Retreat for having us here again. And I appreciate all the feedback we're getting. And what are we doing next week, Emily?
Exercise.
Oh, great.